Hey traders, welcome on back here. This is Wednesday, January 7th. Great to have all of us back here, at least otherwise. Michael, Kevin, Grant, got Andrea, got Michael, if I just shouted him out before. I got Debbie, Doug, got Guy here, got Steven here, Albert just before. Great to have all of our students back here. Give me a quick sound check. Let me know if you got me on the horn. Should be good to go both inside our live trading room, but also on social, just down below. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, Live, X, etc., just down below, lower left, at Cyber Trading U. Make sure to follow and subscribe down there. But otherwise, great to see Tim as well. Andrea, good afternoon. What's good afternoon, Andrea, in Italian? I know buonasera. I think that's good evening, right? So what's good afternoon? I know buongiorno is a good day, maybe good morning. Buon pomeriggio. Was it pomeriggio? Buon pomeriggio. All right, we'll go with that there. See, I used to like study Italian, at least going into college. Then I lost the interest, but otherwise I could try and read it here and there. I just lost that there. Buon pomeriggio. There we go. Perfect. Kate, great to have you as well. Now with that there, at least, hey, hopefully it's been a good day otherwise for all of us, at least here inside our room. We've killed it on a couple great trades. Market pulled back a little bit. So if we look at the SPY collectively here, it's been a little bit wonky, pulling back towards the intraday lows, but that doesn't stop us from finding some good runners, finding a couple trades going against the grain at least. Amazon, we talked about this from the last few days to begin this week, at least on Monday. Some big firms, I think Goldman Sachs, I forget which one, but they were saying Amazon top stock for 2026. Real quick, right? We go over this more in our classes, but to break out the old encyclopedia and the old timeline here, I remember like the back of my hand. Who here is familiar with the company CLSK, Clean Spark? Because this was back going into the end of 2023, where I think it was Goldman Sachs specifically. They came out with this report. They were like, yeah, Clean Spark is going to be a top pick for 2024 and one of the best crypto stocks of the year coming up. I remember this like the back of my hand, right? Well, you could see it in the chart. It certainly popped from that news, right? As soon as that news broke, I mean, this is a weekly graph, but took off. Now at that, if that could happen on little old CLSK Clean Spark, then imagine hearing that about Amazon. So, I was looking for a pullback yesterday on this trade down towards 237, 238, 239 after it had popped here. I did not get that yet. I've been waiting. So just before it looks like it just exhausted out, pulled back under from the 245. I'm still going to wait for my entry. I feel real confident if we can get a pullback on the Amazon trade down towards like 237, 239. At least if we can get that, I would feel uber confident in an entry. Just seeing that resistance flip, been waiting to see this happen. Question is it actually even going to pull back though, right? Because you can't always get what you want. So, at least here, it's been very healthy still. For right now, I know a few of us are in on some option plays on it here so far. You're doing pretty good. I'm rooting you on always. So if it just pops without me, at the end of the day, I just got to bite my tongue, right? Just not care. There's plenty of other fishies out there for me to reel in, much like I tell you all the time. So, with that said, I'm just giving you my game plan. If it can pull back tomorrow, Friday, next week, if we can get that down to 237, 239, ding, 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 I'm going to hit the buy button at least right there. So, for right now, we'll see where this takes us going into the close. I'm not going to put this on our main special list for the afternoon just yet. If it was closer near the highs, probably would have. But honestly, what we'll just do right here, though, is rip right from top to bottom. We'll see what we got here for the afternoon. Jack up the volume filter here as always. So NVVE, I saw a few of us call this out earlier here, right? Rich was on top of it. Andrea, I think, is in from a pretty low price. The NVVE, nice little pop just before, more small cap flavor of the day, flavor of the afternoon type of stock. Good spread, though, good order book, probably has some good icebergs out there, too. Just be careful. We just mentioned this, even a couple days ago in our workshop traders talk, just even earlier on the broadcast, myself and Fausto. Listen, these stocks you can't trust as far as you could throw them. I mean, I'm talking about the NVVEs of the world, not necessarily the Amazons there in this case, right? So looking at this downtrend, we know who's been winning the battle historically. So once the short covering is done with on this trade, once the short-term day trade buying pressure runs out, this thing's going to go down like Frazier. So, at least for right now, we're going to put it on our list for today, for this afternoon. Great trade for right now, great spread, but just always be mindful of higher lows and then from there, higher highs. Once you start to get lower highs, you got to be pretty careful there, right? So SMX, back up today, I guess. This stock does not have a good order book. We know this just from like the end of the year. December popped, and then obviously it crashed hard. So we're all too familiar with this trade in both directions. Can't short it. That'd be nice. But also, it's got a thin order book, ghost order book. No one really out there. So I'd rather put our energy and focus into other trades. Mantis or Momentous. I call it Mantis here, MNTS. This thing has been beautiful. And I want to bring this up too, because if you're inside our live trading room, then you know that we've been talking about this at least a little bit from Monday. As far as the wishful thinking, it's more wishful thinking to begin. Back on Monday this week when this stock first popped, it was at like $6, $8, whatever. We're not necessarily expecting the stock to make the run all the way to 15, let alone honestly as easily as it did. So, at least on Monday, we were talking about this myself, Genevieve, a few of our traders here, as far as the potential thought of it. Here we go. Said MNTS has a potential gap it could fill on the daily chart if it can get towards 15. This is back on the 5th timestamp, right? So this was part of our game plan. Genevieve, one of our longtime experienced, really good traders here, she was asking, like, are you really serious about 15? Well, like at the time, I'm not serious as if I'm kicking my feet back and expecting it to make that move, but it would complete a gap fill on the daily and weekly charts. It's very wishful thinking. The more it pops from here, I'll consider seeing how far it would pop. Blah, 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 blah. So that was for that day. But hey, if the stock wants to prove itself to us day over day over day, well, look at where we're at right now. And this is where I'll just jump to the daily chart here. So, for all of us on social, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., this is where honestly, hey, for students that join our room, you become as much of a team player to me as I am to you right now, because I'll take call outs from students like Bill, Lee, Kate, Tim, many of us here, and I make money off of them. So that's where I tell you, at least on social, you got to join us inside a room to get the full spectrum of what we're trying to accomplish here. But as far as the exit goes, I don't know how much more left this has. This filled the gap. Filled it. $14.99. Ding, ding, ding. That was it. So, again, we got to remember what this stock has done before this week. It's definitely been flavor of the days, plural, not just, one day here. But long term, this thing has been down for a while. So I'm not expecting much more out of this move. Now, with that said, could I be wrong? Could this pop at least one more time today? Well, so far the direction's higher or low still, right? That's hard to ignore. So I'm going to put this on our list, probably just kind of towards the back side of our list, the end of our list for right now. But we'll see if it can keep over 15. If it could stay over 15, if it could stay over the previous high of the day here, maybe. So you're saying there's a chance, right? Am I expecting it? No, but we'll see. We'll come back to it at the end. NBY, it's moving up nicely here, but very thin order book. Again, there's no need for that, at least right now, right? A lot of these other trades just flattened out. The Lucy trade, the glue trade. This thing's going up a bit. ISPC, steady move up at least across the day. Never really saw this until right now. Not only does it have a good spread, but it's got a really nice iceberg on the bid. I don't know how long it was out there for. Maybe it was out there since like 12:30, 1 o'clock. But we'll come back to it. This might be even a little too slow for our blood here. We might want something a little bit more lively even. Definitely something more lively than that. Yeah, I'm gonna move on from that one at least there. We got to find a nice middle ground here, right? Because stocks like TGL, too wacky. Hey, OLPX, definitely a fresh move here. Nice pop just before, right at 2:30, pretty much when we started this meeting. So just seeing this for the first time right now, honestly, wouldn't shock me if Rich called this out right before we started here. So, OLPX halted to the upside. There we go. I'm doing a million things at once today. So Rich just posted this before we even started this meeting here to our students like Kate, Mike, Kevin, and Drea here. So OLPX shares halted on a circuit breaker to the upside. And then obviously it's been reopened since. But, hey, whatever news came out on it, either way, just, we'll figure that out in just a little while here. It's a nice pop, good order book, pretty fresh move so far. Hopefully it doesn't just fade immediately back down. Rather see this at least break higher sooner than later. But good trade. All right. Anything else here across the gainer side? Here's the AXTI, which seemingly won't stop going up on the daily chart, right? Just seemingly enough. Been a great swing trade. OSS One Stop Systems. This thing actually has a halfway decent chart. Order book could be a little bit more liquid, but spread seems tight for right now. Give it the eyeball test for another like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. But for right now, not half bad. Pretty good daily chart. I like that. I really like this trade. What the heck's going on here? So this is a stock from 2018, up and down, built some support here and popping back up. It's not technically at all-time highs yet, but it's got little resistance, at least for right now, around these price levels here. Let me go back here just on the daily one more time. Nice little interesting move. Flip this resistance here back from 2021 into support just, to begin this year. A couple of days ago, just did that actually. I like it. I like it a lot. Honestly, right now, I just put it on our list. And when I say I like it a lot, I'm just saying that in terms of me seeing this really for the first time. Nice move. This might end up being a little fade out here for today, but otherwise, I'm going to keep this on my side list for rest of the week to see how it plays out. But for right now, we'll add it to our list today. If it just pulls back from here, though, it might be done. But very, very interesting move. All right, what else we got? I just skip over that there. HOUS. Oh, so here's what happened as well. We had some news that came out, at least with the real estate sector, real estate market. I called this out earlier to our Traders Insider Room. There's something that happened with Trump making an announcement in regards to institutions no longer being able to purchase homes, kind of taking it away from retail buyers. So what's interesting about that was that Zillow had a nice reaction right out the gate. RKT had a pretty good reaction out the gate. This one, I'm looking for a swing trade on. I took a small loss on it just before because I wanted to test the waters, but wasn't making that reactionary move I was expecting. So with that, it might take another day or so for it to materialize. In and out quick, all good. But the RKT trade has a pretty good long-term graph here, kind of waiting to see this try and blast higher. It's kind of like the OSS in a weird way. Similar way, right? Now, for this trade here, RKT, I'm going to add this to our watch list for the afternoon, more within our price range, probably on the back side of our list. More of a swing trade thought than a day trade thought. But if it doesn't move today, we'll definitely check in with it tomorrow. I guess that brings me back to this one here, HOUS, which was Anywhere Real Estate. That's what led me to kind of tell you about that story with what happened today with Trump. Yeah, HOUS, just probably one of the stronger moves as far as the real estate stocks go. Good order book at the highs. Obviously, pretty good run right now. So we'll add that there too. All right, let's see. Anything else looking good here? Fake meat was on the up and up just before. Yeah, it's at the highs. Stock's a big tease. It's not even the fake meat that I'm not a fan of, right, Kate? We were talking about that earlier. But otherwise, it's also the fact that this stock has been a teaser for us in the past. So not really too interested in it. It's also pretty slow moving. Like kind of watching the grass grow a bit. We have trades that have a little bit more life to them, then we'll focus on those. RZLV, not half bad right now. Probably could pop by tomorrow. UAMI was a nice move before. That's actually still kind of holding here, a higher low, flipping a resistance into a support still. Yeah, actually, this UAMI trade I want to make a little room for today. Why not? We're familiar with this stock. We've done pretty well on this thing in the past. I think they have a deal with the Army, the Navy, at least a or an armed force branch, etc. All right, what else we got here? ALMS back on the up and up. This thing's got a pretty thin book too. It's moving up a little bit here, but again, we already have a good list. We're not desperate. We got some category 3 or 4 trades on here already. We do. So, there's not really a great necessity to add anything crazy to our list. Intel's already flattened out. That made a morning move, and that's done for the time being. RXRX. I thought for a second I was looking at a swing trade on this over time, but This was more speculative, at least here, just trying to see resistance kind of flip back into a support. May look to do that over time here, right? It's kind of perking back up right now. The only issue on this trade long term, again, is that the trend kind of stinks. This thing's on a long downtrend of lower highs. So this really wants to play out and pops up, up to the upper end of this trend. Ooh, that would be a home run, actually. But for right now, it's kind of wishful thinking. So at least for today, it's at the highs. It doesn't hurt for us to add this to our list. At least that has a good order book. All right, so we'll come back to the gainer side here at the end. We'll do round two. We'll do last call here in just a bit. Otherwise, we'll hop over to the losers, seeing if there's any good shorts. As good, if not better, right? Sable offshore back on the, well, not the up and up, I guess on the low and low, on the down and down. So, yeah, good short to work with if you're able to get the shares. Yes, technically it's hard to borrow from me today on TradeStation. I reckon if I request the shares, use the locate app on there, I could probably get them. But for anyone that's able to short this thing, I'm going to put it on our list for you. So it looks like a pretty weak trade. You could try and see this break lower and down to 8, probably below that. This company stinks. This thing has been under a lot of scrutiny going into the end of last year. Look at the daily chart there. We talked about this as a short, as I guess a potential dead cat bounce for a couple of days, but no, it's back on the down and down now. So open, also another stock that is on the down and down. This thing's been dropping back down here a bit. So, yeah, this thing's on a clean downtrend line. You could say that. So it's just a matter of it breaking below support. Let's zoom in on this daily chart. This might already be breaking below it here. This guy actually could be a good short. Let's see. Oh, yeah. For right now, the setup looks appealing as long as it can kind of flip this area back into resistance. It's below it right now, or it's like testing it right now. This area, 622, 613-ish kind of put together. Interesting. If you want to practice your shorts, it's easy to borrow. Not a bad look here. All right. What else we got here? Anything else looking pretty nice? Is a short. CIFR, TME is down a little bit. Pretty flat right now, though, for the last few minutes here. All right, you know what? We'll pass. We got a good list. Like we had said, even if it's tradable, you don't want to build up too big of a watch list for right now. So real brief, want to give a quick shout out. Aloha to my guy, Patrick K. Sending a lot of mana over to you, my friend. Now, at that, at least, hope you join us inside our live trading room, Patrick. But I hope you're doing well going into 2026. Wishing you happiness and health. And Leda, where are you on social media today? Where are you on the YouTube simulcasting? I expected to see you there too. I tease. She's always there, actually, inside our trading room specifically. Give me a quick sec. All right, folks, give me a quick sec here. I don't know what just happened. What's going on here? For all of us inside our live trading room, give me a quick moment. I think something just happened where, unfortunately, you missed most of this meeting here. Is that the case? Give me a quick chat back, Sam, and all of us here otherwise. Good? I don't know what happened there. All right, if you're on YouTube, you're good to go. Give me a quick second here. Just one moment, folks. One moment. You got me here inside our trading room. You got me here at least on social. But I got a million screens up, so I probably ran into a small issue there, at least for those of us inside our room. Give me a moment. Thought I had my screen sharing at least there throughout the whole time. One moment. I'm 95% certain I did. I don't know what happened there. All right. How about this? Real quick. Sam, Jerry, Uday, all of us inside our room. Let me know if you could hear me. Good? All right. I'll be more mindful of double checking you there at least. I don't know what's been going on there. I thought I was good to go. Maybe a small hiccup. Either way. All right, so I will run down very briefly what we just ran through here. Try and expedite it, at least right now. We're about to wrap up, but we'll kind of repeat what we just went through for all of us inside our trading room here. So obviously, if you're a student, Joyce, Tim, all of us here otherwise, we're going to post the list formally for you in just a moment. So with that, you'll get the full list, right? But just to recap, the NVVE trade, it's actually pulling back a bit right now. This really needs to flip resistance into support. So this might be done sooner than later. The OLPX we put on our list because this popped right at 230. It's not looking great here, though, right? We needed this to hold support. Of course, there's plenty of time left for it to try and build new support, go back up. For now, keep it on our list, but it's not looking great. The OSS is flipping resistance into support, so this is still holding up pretty well. I'm very well interested in that, not just as a day trade, but as a swing. MNTS, I don't have as high hopes for, but it's trying to prove itself to me here. It's trying, right? I mean, it's kind of holding for right now. We talked about the gap fill already. We all got out on this trade earlier, or at least if you didn't already, I hope that you set your stop to the higher lows right now. But that's kind of on hanging on by a thread, so to say. So we'll have it on our list, but I think that there's at least better trades to work with. RKT, I got out on that just before I took a small loss, like I'd said before. I'm going to look for a new entry on this, though, as a swing trade at a lower price here before the end of the day, or perhaps into tomorrow morning at least. But, there's some news that came out with the housing market with Trump and trying to block big institutions from buying, homes from retail buyers. So a couple of good moves here on Zillow, but RKT is the one I'm looking at. And, again, a couple others that we're going to post in full to our students inside our room in just a bit. If you're in our room, you're going to get the full watch list here in just a moment. A couple good shorts as well on Open and the SOC trade. So a couple good longs, a couple good shorts to work with, though, altogether, folks. My apologies for any tech issues that just happened to begin this meeting. If you're Sam, Bill, Tim, Scott, etc. And then, we'll be back on in just a bit either way, folks. We'll be good to go coming up for 3 o'clock. All right. Talk to you soon. Take care.